Hello, welcome to the Late Night Lounge here on Latte Firm Friday, the 8th of August. The weekend is finally here. The Community Shield is just around the corner and the Emirates Cup is tomorrow. Welcome to the show. I hope you've all had a fantastic week. Honestly, it's been a tiring week for me personally on a work level. Obviously, the daily grinds have been really good fun, but I hope you're all in good health. I hope you are all looking forward to this weekend, wherever you are watching from around the world. And it's great to have you all here with me. So, yeah, what can I say? Tonight, we're going to have the two bandits with the normal bandits from the Late Night Lounges coming on. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got new kits. We're going to get your thoughts on your favorite kits and how our new kits rank this season. Nwaneri has signed a new deal. It's now official. It's confirmed via the club website. What do you guys make of that? Max Dowman is another one that is coming through the ranks. We're going to look back at a positive from the friendlies that we've had this preseason, of course. Then we'll take Yembele and Wembele's opinions on whether Arsenal are ready for the season, maybe looking at one or two sort of transfer deals, and then a bit of fun. We are going to get you guys, everyone, to be the sporting director, and we're going to look at trying to offload 8 players. Who are you going to sell to? How much do you think we can fetch for them? And I want to get your takes on their terrible takes that are inevitable, of course. We look forward to the Emirates Cup. And, of course, Premier League Fantasy Football is back. So just tuck in to the elite content that is about to come. If you are tuning in for the first time as someone who's watched the daily grinds, you will know that the daily shows are 100 miles an hour, very, very fast, content-packed, slide deck-packed, and you don't really get much time to sort of chill and unwind. So these late night lounges are exactly that, slow-paced, chilling out, Arsenal sesh. Get involved in the chat. Welcome to the show, everybody. V Vlad was first in the house, says, good evening, guys. 1 week away from the Barclays. I'm ready to be hurt again. Come on, you Gunners. I am ready for the Barclays. I can't wait for it. I'm itching for it. I can't wait to be back at the Emirates tomorrow to watch the Emirates Cup. And then, of course, the countdown begins to Old Trafford. Arsenal Granny, welcome to the house. I want to be positive, but I can't be too happy with what I've seen so far. I'm going to get the chat involved in tonight's show. I want to hear your thoughts. How prepared do you think Arsenal are for this new season that's around the corner? Jeet, welcome to the show. Says, good evening, all. Why is it that when it was time to sign Madueke, there was no problem with paying out £52 million? But when it comes to Eze, all of a sudden there's no space and funds need to be raised. I think funds always needed to be raised. And if you caught the show with Sammy Mockbell last night, he is expecting maybe 1 or 2 more to go out of that exit door and potentially a late deal for Eze towards the back end of the window. David, welcome, says Rodrigo or Leao. Yeah, we've talked a lot about those two players. I'm not sure, but we'll get the thoughts of the gentleman behind the scenes in a second. Jizzle McDizzle, hope you've had a great week. Hope you're in good health. Says, I fear I have jinxed Victor Gyökeres by going too soon with his celebration. Sorry, Gooners. It's your fault, Jizzle McDizzle. Dave's in the house. Says, evening, Gooners. Can't wait for the start of the season. Need to sell and bring in one more left-sided attacker. Come on, Berta. Make some offers that people cannot refuse. Arteta out. It's already started. Toby, come on now. Come on. Paul James says, good evening. Arteta in, says Tom Parson. That's what I'm talking about. Abby says, here we are. Good evening, FK. Good evening to all of you. Keep the chat active tonight. Hundreds of you watching already live on YouTube. Please do like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content and get involved. And also a very big thank you to everyone on Patreon, everyone who is signed up to be a YouTube channel member. The generosity goes a long way for this channel and it's greatly appreciated. And we're going to start doing members only type streams. On Monday, there's going to be one with Henry Winter at 11 o'clock in the morning where we get his thoughts on the window and his look ahead to the season. It'll be available to everybody at some point later, but it'll be live for members. So thank you so much for your support. Lots more to come. Ashin's in the house. Lucio's in the house. Oh, fantastic. Mohammed's in the house. Keep it going. Okay, let's bring in our bandits. First up, needs no introduction. Wayne Bele. How are you, my man?
I'm good, thank you very much. The hot weather's coming back, so hopefully we should be able to enjoy a nice weekend. A shame that we're not getting to go to Wembley this weekend to celebrate another Community Shield success, but we'll one-up them and we'll do even better in the Emirates Cup this weekend, which I didn't know you were going. We can link up. I'm going tomorrow as well.
Are you? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going thanks to a friend of Charles Watts. He had a ticket last minute and he was like, do you fancy coming? And he and his son watch Latte Firm. So it's going to be a pleasure to go with you, David. And a shout out to David, just in case you're watching tonight. How's your week been, man? It is warm, but I'm so glad it's Friday. Like I needed this weekend so badly.
Yeah, it's been so busy at work and stuff this week, and obviously it makes it even busier. I don't know if it's the same with you and sort of your team and your office. Obviously, everyone's taking their summer holidays now, so our team is now like one or two down every week for the next sort of 5-6 weeks, and have been for a week already. So yeah, adds to the stress, adds to the pressures, but it's the perfect time for football to come back, because when you don't want to do anything at the weekend, we'll have wall-to-wall football, which is great.
Do you know what? All these sports, these pretenders, they come and go during the summer, don't they?
No,
Wimbledon,
well,
Formula
the
One, cricket. Nah, come on. I loved the cricket, but the Barclays is the greatest show on earth, baby. Come on.
Absolutely, but the cricket did a bloody good job at filling a void. It did a really good job.
It was good. It was good. Lots of nice comments about the shirt that I'm wearing. Thank you very much for that. A very kind donation from someone who, again, also watches the channel. £85 each is a robbery, but they are. This is the player edition, so it's a little bit tight on the old arms, and it does fit really snug. And there's some nice padding by the collar. It's really cool. It's really cool. Let's bring in our other bandit, of course, Yembele, and he's got fresh trim. Look at that. Fresh haircut.
I had to. I look like a hobo. I was getting into my hobo stage. My wife literally said, "I can't take you like this. Can you go and get a haircut, please?" So
you're looking good, mate. You're looking lighter. You're looking lighter, thinner, leaner, happier.
No, I'm not that.
Wait a week. Wait until tomorrow. That will change.
Yeah, exactly. No. Wednesday did it to me already. I mean, oh dear, it was. Yeah, my blood pressure's already back to back to the season levels. You know, at the end of the season it dropped. Relaxation kicked in. Now it's just slowly rising, and then I'll have an aneurysm sooner or later.
Oh gosh. Raphael, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Donald says, the hand of Wayne. Welcome to you, Donald. Hope you've had a good week, my friend.
I wish. Listen, I wish. When I grow up, I want to be just like that. Man.
Do you know what? We're in a
robot, cyborg. I don't know what hand
we are. We're in a different era now. That Indy Kyler has now been quoted out as a source. We are. What is the world coming to? The street.
We're finished.
Weird sandwiches. KFC sauces now becoming legit sauces. The world is. It's a new world. It is a new world, and I don't know if I can take it.
Do you know what, Abu? I'd agree with that. Yembele does look sub 50 today. I mean, wow. He's
the white hairs.
You're looking good. You're looking sharp, brother. You're looking sharp. I like it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So let's ruin the show by getting your awful take on snacks then, Yem. Everyone's complimenting you about how good you look. What's your snack check tonight, brother?
I am in a bit of a rush today, so I've been up and down, took my kids to the cinema quite late. Got back, went to my mum's.
Excuses.
Sorry, Excuse me. I've got just a Swiss roll. I've just got a mini Swiss roll. You know, one of the mini rolls.
Swiss roll.
You know the mini rolls.
So it's not a Swiss roll at all.
Wait. It's not a Swiss roll. What is it? Oh, a mini roll.
Wait, hold on.
What flavor?
The best of the
it's orange. It's an orange flavor.
Oh my god!
It's all right. It's not as good as the original, but I saw it on offer. I just thought, I'll try it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even know that mini rolls did an orange flavor. I know the original.
I think it's a limited edition at the moment.
What's the other one? The strawberry. I know the raspberry one.
Raspberry.
I know those two. I didn't even know the orange was a
decent
thing.
I'm not going to lie. Mo says Yembele's on a 4K camera, or is it a new trim?
Camera.
It is.
I'm a 4K camera.
Finally, he's got a camera that works. That's great.
There we go.
Madeline, what are you having? Madeline says he's having chocolate covered raisins. They are pretty elite, to be fair. Let me know, chat, what you guys are all snacking on tonight. Raybeam says evening FK, Yem, Wayne, and chat. A warm welcome to everybody watching. Giant Watsits. What a great shout. Do you know what? I'll go next, because on that theme, I have Cheetos.
Ooh.
Oh, they're classic.
You know what? They're so cheesy and sticky on the fingers, right? Absolutely awesome. I'm gonna chow down on these, and it's a bumper size packet as well. So
have you tasted the like American ones though?
The flaming hot one.
Not the flaming hot.
No, the cheese. They're not the same as in England.
They're not. I know they're not the same. They're not the same. The one
more orange.
There is a service station where I get my car charged in West Brom of all places, right? Well, he's been there, obviously, on the way to Old Trafford, on the way back. And they do all the, because I have an office there. So they have all the genuine, like American, but they're like £6 a bag, £5 a bag.
That's what it is now. That's what it is now. It's a rip-off kind of culture. Takis, you know, these what's it, you know, the Cheetos, all of this stuff. Like, I bought some for my nephew because my nephew loves this stuff. £7 for like a similar bag to what you have.
It's crazy, mate. The Gaming Pod says McVitie's digestives dunking in Yorkshire tea elite combination. Although the Gaming Pod, have you tried the dark chocolate McVitie's digestives? They are sensational, let me tell you. Paul James, welcome. Another YouTube channel member says, tonight I have a Boost. It's the only chocolate in the house. You cannot go wrong with a Boost. It's just absolutely awesome.
I love the way we also say. I love the way we also say it. Boost.
Boost. Donald says he's having spicy giant.
Oh, yeah.
I know they are the best. They're pretty good, to be fair. They're pretty good. I'm getting a lot of love. Thank you, Bush. Really appreciate that. Chris says he's having a couple of nice biscuits. By the way, chaps, M&S have got chocolate-covered bourbon biscuits, chocolate-covered custard creams. Chocolate-covered. Have you seen the images going around?
Is that like bourbon, is that like bourbon cream with the custard in the middle? Effectively?
Yeah, but like chocolate covered. I think. Do you know what? Next week it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
I will say, and I hate myself for doing this. I actually had a look for the birthday cake sandwich in Tesco because I was just there before.
I knew it,
man. Of course you would.
I knew.
Just to bring it on here.
I knew you would.
No, I was doing it for the fan base.
Disappointment on so many fronts, yeah.
I wasn't buying it for myself.
Don't lie. Do not lie.
I should have got the Biscoff one because I like Biscoff, and I'm genuinely intrigued on that one. There's so many different sandwiches going around at the moment.
So look, for those of you that are tuning in for the first time thinking, what the actual hell are we talking about here? So this is Snack Check. This is a weekly staple. Let me know what you're snacking on. And yeah, the supermarkets in the UK have started producing sandwiches of a sweet cake type flavor. So biscotti sandwiches, we've got birthday cake sandwiches, we've got strawberry and cream sandwiches. The game's gone. We used to be a great country, and I'm kind of weirdly looking forward to tasting the birthday one because that video that you sent, Yem. Yeah, but there we are. Raphael says he's having a cold brew coffee ice cream here. It's a good night for it, let me tell you. Almond Magnum. I'm not keen on almond magnums. I got to be honest. The double chocolates were the best ones, and they've stopped doing them. Really, really frustrating.
I don't mind the almond Magnum, but the white chocolate will always be my favorite.
Sickly. Kirill says hello. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you in the chat. Ben says, is cheesecake with a biscuit base an elaborate biscuit?
Cheesecake with a biscuit base?
No.
It's cake.
Yeah, it's got to be a cheesecake. You got cheese in it.
Yeah. It's cheesecake. It's cheesecake.
The buttery biscuit base. Yes, it's definitely a cheesecake.
Yeah,
Chris is showing our age with tea and biscuit. There we go. Right. Let's go to Wayne because I've been waiting for this. He says, how did he describe it, Yembele? A stupendous soundtrack. Snack check. I don't know what's going on today. I'm so tired. Go on, Wayne, what you got?
I don't have a snack, FK.
What? Do you not know the rules?
I've got the snack.
Ooh!
I don't
that's
have
a bold. That's a bold claim.
This is Wayne. You best deliver now. Yeah, don't be bringing me hype and then not delivering.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Who needs food when you can live off this?
That's not a snack. That's
not a snack.
This is a snack, baby.
No,
this is a
it's
snack.
Not.
Look at the gorgeousness of the. Just
Are you
look
going
at
to
the
eat
coloring.
it? Can you?
Exactly.
Can you just?
I'll live off it. It's just so delightful and so beautiful.
Look, I know Wayne and Matt have got.
I take it back. I take it back. I take it back. I apologize. You are not the worst person in the world. Wayne is.
Look at the detail. Who needs food when you can live off?
We're doing a kit review in a minute.
We're literally going to talk about our favorite kits.
Just look.
Have you not read the brief?
Look at it's just gorgeous.
He had to go early, didn't he? He had to go early, didn't he?
Gorgeous. I'm not taking the tag off. This is going in a museum.
Why are you not wearing it?
Because I want to smell it. I want to kiss it. I want to
smell it.
You might even sleep with it tonight, ladies and gents, boys and girls.
It's so beautiful.
What you want that sweatshop smell, and you want to smell that sweatshop smell that they got it from.
If they make it this beautiful time and time again, absolutely, I am in love. This
it does.
It's an elite kit.
That was stupendous.
Hold the kit chat for just a second, because we're going to come on to that. That's the opening slide tonight. Chan says that is the dessert. Dan, welcome to the show. Another YouTube channel member says he will lick it. He might do. He might already have. Bush says that is absolutely gorgeous. Indeed, that is exactly. It's a beautiful kit. Shame we're finishing fourth in it, says Andy. Dave said you lot are so funny. Dave says Wade is bringing the elite goods. Latte, I got Tesco. What do you mean you got Tesco?
Yeah,
what? Finish the
general.
sentence, Tamba. What a great name, Tamba Jamissa. That's not a
Did you
rude-
get a meal deal?
not
Did you
rude-
get
that's
a
not a rude quick
dessert?
thing, is
Did
it?
you? Come on,
Shirt for a snack,
specificity.
says Shaq. That is mad.
It is mad.
Big up everyone, says Ryan. Right, let's get into the content. Thank you for that. Thank you for playing along. Hope you all have had... Oh, what was that? Wayne has lost the plot. Yeah, well, there you go. There
Listen,
you go.
if you want to donate me another shirt like that, I'll be happy. I'll be happy enough to take it.
Right, thank you for doing the stat check. Enjoy your mini roll, Yambele. I'm going to chow down on these
It's gone.
Cheetos as we go along.
It's
already
gone.
gone. He's already polished it. Oh, new member alert. Kirill Gusev. Hopefully I pronounced your name right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in on the shows recently. Thank you for also becoming a YouTube channel member. You will enjoy Monday's members only stream with Henry Winter. And thank you for supporting the channel. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. Gav says it's a beauty of a shirt. I got the blue one, but I'm debating the third shirt too. And Harrison just saying, yes, FK. That's what I'm talking about, Harrison. Right. Content. Let us start with the new kits. I love the artwork on the right-hand side, nabbed purely off social media. There is a purpose for me having that. Get involved in the chat. The first question, chaps, is what do you make of our new shirts for 25-26? And do you have a favorite out of the three? And then I'll have a separate question afterwards. So I think Wayne, by just how he's made love to his third shirt live on YouTube, I think he's probably going to go with the white one. Yambele, what are your thoughts?
No, they're stunning kits. I would say that the third kit is my favorite this season. The red kit is always a classic, and the detail. Do you know the level of detailing on both the first and the third kit is stunning. The blue kit is okay. I don't mind it. I'm not a big fan of blue as our general second color. I prefer yellow. You know, yellow's for me always been the classic away color. But I don't mind it. It's a nice design. But the first and third kits, that third kit is absolutely stunning. And you know, I digress to Wayne that with his weird antics in the snack check. But it is an absolutely stunning shirt. The detailing on that one is just phenomenal. That's what it is. You know, like from a distance, it's just all plain white, white and burgundy. But as you get up close, you see all the level of detailing, and it's absolutely stunning. So yeah, it's another blinder by Adidas. The only problem I have is that Adidas seem to be getting more clubs to sponsor them. You know, we need some exclusivity here. It's not, we need to have the best kits, all of this kind of stuff, because we're the ones who will move the merch. I know Liverpool will move merch, but not like us.
They are three very good-looking shirts. I'll go next, if you don't mind. I like the home shirt. I think the detailing on that is wonderful. I love the A sort of embodied in all the sort of red. The blue shirt obviously was my favorite, Yem. You know that, and I'm so pleased that I've got it, and I'm probably going to get a name printed on the back because I love the font, the sort of letters as well that they're using this year, the cup letters. I've got to say my least favorite, as I've just put the poll out live on YouTube, so do get voting viewers, which is your favorite shirt of this season. My least favorite is the white one. I think it's a masterpiece. It looks great, but it's just got collars on it. And I love collars, but I don't like that collar. I don't like the way it's sort of open V with the little purple bit in between. If it was like Cesc, AC Milan, that sort of white shirt with just the purple lining, that would have been absolutely spot on. Wayne, let's get your unhappiness out of the way then.
I'm not even going to acknowledge that. The YouTube poll will set you straight. I trust the Latte. I trust the Latte firm watchers, the listeners, the viewers. I know I don't even need to do my bidding. I know the outcome of the poll already because I trust the people. The best one is the third shirt, and it's by far and away the best. But all three are beautiful. What I will say is that of all of the Adidas kits, all three, this is my favorite collection of all three. A couple of years ago, obviously we had the black away and the pink third.
Those
two were divine.
That black one is
a
for
legend.
Me, it's probably of the modern era best away shirt. Timeless, and it's criminal that we didn't win the league wearing that shirt.
Yeah, but that same season, like that home shirt wasn't the best. Like it was an Arsenal shirt, it was nice, it was all right, true. But that home shirt kind of let the collection down. All three this year are sensational. Like if you chose home, away, or third, like you'd have a decent argument. But the third one is just a piece of art. And you know what it is? It's the fact that it's not even the shirts, FK. The third range of jackets, jumpers, hoodies,
Oh
the,
yeah.
the sweatshirts, just the colour, Timber with a scarf, a simple Arsenal coloured scarf wrapped around. They're just beautiful. They're just pieces of art. The third one is the best, and I'm obsessed. The one that I showed you is a long sleeve. The long sleeve third shirt is just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, listen, the associated merch with the white shirt and the colouring is phenomenal. The scarves, the balls, the knitwear, the hoodie. I think they've got a hoodie, but they've got a sweatshirt. I think it's criminal that they don't have a hoodie, because if there was that sort of maroon hoodie with the white, I'd be all over it. And do you know what I love as well in the stadium? Well, you probably haven't seen it yet, but they've got the electric boards now on middle tier.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
bottom
Raf
tier.
posted it.
Yeah, but like when you're there and you see it, the purple with the white text, right, the white font for Arsenal, it's really awesome. Just before we ask your thoughts and go to the poll and chat, I also want to know all-timer. I've just got a selection of shirts on the right-hand side. Can we just say hi to Lower North Bank, who is also known as Chan? Chan, first of all, thank you so much for your very generous donation to the channel. It's massively appreciated. I love you, man. Lovely to see you on Wednesday night as well. Chan, if anybody is unfamiliar, is a club photographer. He works with Arsenal on match days. Lower North Bank, as you can see in the profile there, just over Yem's face. My apologies, Yem. That is his handle on socials. Get involved. You will have seen so many photos, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that I've used on slides as overlays and all that sort of stuff in the past. And it's basically Chan's genius. And you know what? He's such a nice guy, right? That he gives me open access to his Dropbox or whatever it's called, Google Box, where I can go and just nab the photos. I mean, come on. The generosity of this guy is phenomenal. And if I can get him any traffic towards his socials, that would be amazing. Donald says, "Big up, Chan, you ledge." I'm sure some of you, he corrects himself. That's no problem at all, Donald. I think some of you sort of have been there and seen all of his stuff. Chaps, what I do want to get your thoughts on is, do any of these three kits, and Wayne might say yes, rank highly in terms of, are they all-timers? I mean, if I had to ask you, actually, what is your favorite, not home shirt, because they're always rare. You might have a favorite home shirt, but do you have a favorite away shirt, or do you have a favorite shirt of all time? So a favorite shirt that you've worn in your lifetime. And chat, let me know. Give me your shouts, because there's loads of shouts coming through. Like that yellow shirt from 03-04 is tremendous. The one with the blue 02, absolutely sensational. Do you guys have an all-time shirt?
Yeah, I've got the the bruised banana. So second row down, left. The leftmost, that one. It's
sorry,
iconic for me because
it's playing with your titties, but yeah, I didn't mean to do that intentionally. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, I love that. That one. It was Ian Wright. Ian Wright in that kit, scoring goals. I absolutely loved it. But also for me and you personally, because obviously you know which one I'm talking about. But the two below are the ones that me and you wore on the parade day.
Invincible's parade day. Yeah,
so it's got a special meaning for you and me. So there's a photo of us which we're not going to post.
I could post it. I look the same, but you.
Oh mate, no one's going to recognize you in those days.
Yeah, I had hair. Okay, so Yembele's is the bruised banana. Wayne, do you have a favorite kit of all time?
Yeah, I've actually got a couple that I can't ever choose from. The final Highbury maroon one, I think that's why I'm very in love with this third range. Shirt. The maroon one that you can see there on the third row to the right hand side. It's just a beautiful shirt, and I know that it's not our traditional sort of usual modern day colors, but I thought it was fantastic. And the one above it, that gold Sega shirt, I adored that one. I think that's my favorite away shirt of all time, and I think that's my favorite away shirt of all time. But
it's got a special meaning, hasn't it? It's got a special meaning because we won the title in that one, didn't we?
Yeah. But a shout out to, and this one that I don't think very many fans think of or discuss. Do you remember the Nike blue shirt that had the collar and it had like a little pinstripe down there? Sort of the years with Fabregas. I think it was a third shirt. Oh no, it was away. We had Fabregas, Arshavin. The years with Arshavin. I think it might have been 2000 and maybe 9. I think it may have been 2009. It was a blue one, Fly Emirates Nike shirt. It had a collar similar to the third shirt, and it had like a little subtle pinstripe down there. That's a real one that I think people tend to forget about, but I think is really, really nice.
Yeah, no, I can't quite remember that one. Chan's getting a lot of love. Look at this, DJ D10. Big up, Chan. Can you have Chan as a guest? Asks Paul James. Chan, open invite, my friend. If you ever want to come on and have a say on Arsenal, I think, and tell us your journey and what you're doing with the club. We had Hector, who came on and talked about his love for photography and how actually we inspired him. This channel inspired him into approaching the club. and working in football. And now look at him, he's absolutely flying. By the way, new member alert. Let me just go back. Here we go. Like Mike, welcome to the channel membership. Really appreciate you supporting the channel. He says, new to Latte Firm, had to sign my life away. Keep up the good work. I really appreciate that. Appreciate your kind words. Thank you so much, my friend. I love the gold Sega. I've got Pires 7 on the back of that one, and the finger wagging from Villa Park where he lobbed Schmeichel from about 8 yards out. Do you remember that? I've got Reyes on the maroon farewell Highbury kit, which I love. The one next to that with the yellow sort of border around the O2, that's my Fabregas 15 shirt. Campbell on the one next to that, the yellow one I've got as well. But my all-time favorite, it's not the lightning blue, which
I know which one it is because you wear it all the time.
You know it. I've got Bergkamp 10 on the back of that. But my favorite shirt of all time is the O2 Thierry Henry Roma hat trick. Thank you very much. What an elite shirt. And do you know what? It's aged immaculately, a bit like myself. It doesn't fade in the wash. The printing doesn't come off. The stitching is still absolutely spot on. And I've wore it a lot, home and away. Absolutely love it. Jag says, hello, bro. Will you be going tomorrow? Hope to see you. I will be going tomorrow. I forget what block I'm in. I think I'm block 2. So by the dugout, if anybody's there. Block 2, row 2. Something like that. Kirill says he's got the Dreamcast blue and it is sensational. Paul says the Arsenal away shirt in 97-98, sponsored by JVC. That is a GOAT shirt. Goated shirt, and of course 97-98, what a year that was. Dr. Hank Venture, welcome to the show. Maroon and gold 02, bruised banana, and the white third kit in that order. They're his favorite 3. Let's go to the poll. And how have the loyal viewers ranked it? Wayne's right. Wayne is right. The third kit has stolen it with almost 2/3 of the voting tonight. 63% of you
I know the
third shirt is the best shirt this season. 18% of you have gone for away and 17% home. Wow, the home shirt, the least favorite shirt of the lot. Interesting. Moke, welcome, says dark blue. Arshavin scored at Old Trafford with it. Yeah, that was a nice shirt.
That was the one I was talking about.
I think that's the one that you were talking about. Yeah. You just have to name a player and a goal, and then it comes back to my head. DFC says the O2 era just different. It was. Do you remember the Dreamcast era? Yembele? You're old enough to remember that.
I mean, the thing is that
Dreamcast with who comes to mind when you think of that Dreamcast shirt?
Oh, Carnu.
Well, for me, it's Carnu. Yeah.
Really? I was going to say Vieira all day long.
Who else? Do you know who else?
All day long.
Do you know who? I've got a number of players. Gilles Gramondi, for some reason, just comes to mind for that one because he was just a legend. Unsung hero. I think. But every player. Do you know what? Go on. Sorry, Wayne.
I was going to say, fun fact about Gramondi, he scored the only goal at my first ever game at Highbury against Crystal Palace in 97.
What a legend. What a legend he was.
Well, there you go. Kirill, again, very generous with the donation. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. Says FK, for you and your phoning guests, why do you think so many Arsenal fans are so negative about the club? We are title contenders in the last years. Kirill, if you would allow me to hold that thought, hold that question, because we're going to talk about our preparedness, and I promise I will bring it up again. Richie Dovefellas in the house says, how do you become a member? Richie, I got to be honest, I don't know.
There's a subscribe button on YouTube. There's a subscribe button underneath the video.
Oh, there you go.
It's called join. Sorry, it's called join. It's called join. It says join on it.
There you are. Yembele, my IT guru. Where would I be without you, my friend? Jizzle McDizzle says the Dreamcast Grimondi. Yes, Yembele. Kirill's just sending lots of love. I will come back to you on that.
Can I ask you?
Promise you.
Just a quick one for both of you.
It doesn't have to be quick. It's Friday. Take it slow. Let the good times roll, baby.
Because we all associate players with the kit. As in one player with each of the kits. So, if you look at the JVC ones, Ian Wright still stands out for me for most of these because he was just absolutely. He looked so good in it, and he was scoring. Although I will say that also the JVC one, David Rocastle in it was for me. Massive.
Do you know it's funny you say that, Yem? Like I associate these kits with individual players.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, like I'm seeing that O2 maroon, like Reyes and Henry with a 2 that year, and I've just talked about Fabregas and Vieira and Pires in the goal, Wiltord in the goal.
Wiltord in the gold is the one for me because that moment where he literally goes like that.
Yeah,
and you've got.
that yellow. The yellow O2 on the third row.
Yep,
always comes Gilberto. Always.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? It's a great shout, and I've got Campbell on the back of that shirt, but Gilberto, yes, mate.
The one I hate, and I hate myself for it, is the lower left, the bottom lower left, with the bit massive. Robin van Persie, unfortunately, is the one that comes to mind.
You know what? You can't hate yourself for doing that, man, because at the time, Van Persie was obviously one of ours, and he was a phenomenal player. Like, you can't. I know it's all gone sort of weird and horrible, but like, you can't. You know, you can't. Don't be upset. Manny says, remember losing to Batistuta goals at Wembley? Yeah, Yembele and I were there. In the rain, listening to Travis on the speakers.
Was that our first Arsenal game at Wembley?
No, I don't know. That the first Arsenal game was AIK Solna.
Solna, that was it. Oh my God, what those days?
Davos Zucker. Oh.
Which one was Davos Zucker? He was Dreamcast, wasn't he? Davos Zucker. No, he was JVC. He was the JVC, wasn't he?
Mate, what a
Davos Zucker. What a time to be an Arsenal fan.
What a time to be alive. Anajit, welcome to the show. FK, your spot on kits and players are all etched into our memories forever. Well, let's hope we make new memories in this new shirt. Talking of new memories, I want to shout out just very quickly before we start talking about actual Arsenal content. Join the Latte Firm FPL Super League. That is right. The Fantasy Premier League is now open. That is the code. I will tweet it, of course, but if you just want to take a moment to either screenshot or jot it down, note it down, whatever you want to do. I was looking for a QR code, but sadly not advanced enough to manage to get one. But 9W2UD1, that is the code. If you fancy showing me your football knowledge, hashtag NOLLEGE. You can enter the Latte Firm FPL Super League. We've had thousands of people over the last 2 seasons, and the winner will win a shirt of their choice. Hence the link at the start. Assad's in the house. Now, Assad, I promised I wouldn't sort of say anything, but this guy is supremely generous. Let me tell you guys, really, really good-hearted lad. Big Arsenal fan. Not so happy with the way things are going, and he says the three of you on here remind me of Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Pepe. Don't ask why. Eze isn't happening, by the way, chaps. It's a top 4 race this year for us. Assad, you give with one hand and you take with the other. Please don't do that. By the way, I'm definitely not Lacazette. That is definitely Yembele. I'm just saying. And you're definitely Pepe, Wayne. I'm obviously Aubameyang.
Okay.
The superstar. Yeah, so jot that down. Get involved in the competition. The winner at the end of the season will win a shirt as per normal. So this is the news that we want to start with. Ethan Nwaneri, Wayne, has signed a new contract. We knew about it, of course. The news broke, as it often does these days on socials, but it is now official with videos and photos and touching sort of comments and features on the club website, on socials. And it's great to see our man finally sign a new 5-year contract. And I love that picture on the left-hand side. Now _Arsenal has put that together. That is a young Ethan Nwaneri. I think it was a fist bump with Arsene Wenger at Wembley in one of our FA Cup triumphs. I mean, he said that he's a North London boy. He said that he's proud to be at the Arsenal. What does it mean to you, Wayne?
It's brilliant. And I think that we've obviously discussed new contracts on this show for the past couple of weeks. We spoke about the importance of obviously signing up Gabriel. We've talked about the importance of hopefully getting Saliba and Saka done in the next few weeks. Obviously, Nwaneri and Miles Lewis-Skelly were the younger ones. I don't think anyone really had a doubt in their mind that Lewis-Skelly would sign, but I think a lot of Arsenal fans had a question mark over whether Nwaneri would sign. I think, unfortunately, journalists on social media now kind of have played a little bit of a part in scaring us, and I'm sure a lot of that was agent sort of playing games and trying their best for their client and whatnot. But I think that the fact that we've got it done and the fact that we've got it sorted out for not only 2 years with an option, 3 years. I don't know. You're pressing buttons, mate. That's what it seems like. But yeah,
just went. Yeah,
we're not doing it for like 2 years with an option where people was kind of get upset about it. It seems to be long-term lockdown for 5 years. He's committing the sort of full part of his early career with us, and we're looking to see him flourish in a position that I think a lot of Arsenal fans are excited to see him play centrally. It's brilliant news, and to get so much done before the season, we're not going in with any sort of question marks. There's no clouds. Every time Nwaneri scores a goal, you'll have sort of Neville or Carragher saying, "Oh, how long will he be here? How long will Arsenal be able to keep a talent like that? Pay him the money, blah, 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 blah." We've got it sorted, and now we can just focus on developing him into the talent that I think the whole Arsenal fan base believe he can turn into.
There's no doubting his natural talent. Obviously towards the back end of last season, Wayne, he faded a little bit. There's now sort of stories about how physically he was a bit jaded. He wasn't sort of recovering properly, soft tissue sort of strains. And I think Arteta's got to protect him. And that must have been difficult for Mikel to do at the time, because we all saw, how he was a real burst of energy and impetus in terms of intensity into a game. He'd come on late and sort of really make his mark with energetic sort of driving runs towards the opposition goal and taking shots. And then, of course, the gaffers had to protect him. And so a new contract, a central role, Yembele, that's that David Ornstein sort of talked about. And I think Ethan Nwaneri today said that he's happy to play anywhere across the front five, sort of central midfield roles, wide left, wide right, even up top as a potential striker. What does it mean to you, Yem?
No, and I think we've started to see where Arteta wants to play him, because obviously in the game against Villarreal, he started in the midfield role that Martin Odegaard occupies, that central role. So that's where he wants to be, and he clearly has to learn the position. He had some very good moments in the first half. I thought, very good give and goes. Needs a little bit. There's clearly areas for development, because as a number 10, he needs to be able to pick out passes and be able to pass off very quickly. And there was a few good runs which he missed out, but no one denies his dynamism when he picks up the ball and runs at players. I think that little nutmeg he did as well was you could hear when everyone went, ooh. It's those nice little touches. This is a big season for Ethan, because what it's coming into, he's a known quantity now. Everyone knows about his ability, the way he cuts in on his left and has got a very good shot. But like Miles Lewis-Skelly, managers now know what he is, and they're going to be wise to him. So it's now a case of he has to ensure that he's standing out more, he's delivering in games more, being more assertive. He can't be that I'm coming in I'm playing on the right wing, so I'm not going to be involved in the game anymore. He's asked for the central role. He wants to shoulder the burden. Now is the time to see whether he's going to be able to do it. He won't necessarily start the big games. I still expect Martin Odegaard to do that, but I expect to see him more and more in games, against lesser opposition, Carabao Cup, dead rubber, Champions League. You are going to see him more and more having an influence. I don't think he'll necessarily play from the left. From the right. Sorry, I think we've now got enough cover there in Madueke, Dowman, etc. But it's a big season. It's a massive season for him, because I think MLS had his breakout last season. I think that MLS physically was more ready than Ethan. But I expect Ethan, from looking at him this season, the way he's bulked out a little bit, lessons learned, Arteta managing his program, the fitness coaches, etc. I expect him to have a much bigger season and more involvement towards the end of the season as well, not to fade away. So very glad that he signed the new contract. As Wayne put it really well, you don't want to have that cloud hanging over him when he does play well, that, is he going to leave? Is something going to happen? No, 5 years, best period of his career, the upward trajectory now. Now is the time to let him play his football. He's got no heavy heads on him. He's got nothing about contract negotiation. It's purely now, go and do your football, do your talking, show why we've invested in you, why we've given a 5-year contract, why you've proven to be one of the best. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. I think he'll make it through into the England squad this season. I think he's going to have that kind of season. I'm fairly convinced he'll have that kind of season where he will make the England squad like MLS did. It might be a bit later, but I expect him to actually make it. That's the impact I'm expecting him to have.
While you were talking, Yem, I put out a poll, and I've realised I didn't mean to say appearances. I meant to say starts. So I will redo that poll because Viggs has just said to me, Ethan made 37 appearances last season. 37, Wayne. What sort of impact do you think Nwaneri could have this season, Wayne, while I do the new poll?
A really important one, because he's a different type of attacking midfielder to Martin Odegaard, and he's a different type of midfielder in general to what we have at the minute. He always looks to dribble sort of very direct. He always looks to get a shot off with very little backlift. He's always looking to take defenders on in a different way to what we have from midfield. In fact, we don't really have anyone that does it. Martin Odegaard likes to dribble with the ball, but it's not really his main point, and he doesn't really go at players the way that Nwaneri does, and he doesn't have the level of sort of quick feet or in terms of like skillfulness that Nwaneri has. But the real exciting thing for me is he always looks forward. He always wants to go for goal, whether it's a shot, whether it's sort of across towards the back post, whether it's a driving run. I think he's been a real breath of fresh air in that sense. And the main thing really in terms of impact for Nwaneri is I believe we kind of need to, and we've obviously spoke about the system and roles and setups quite a lot this summer. We need to cater the players that he plays with in midfield to his skill set. we can't ask him to come in and expect him to do the exact same job that Martin Odegaard does for us in that midfield, because he's a different kind of player. And I think if you put Nwaneri with a midfield, say, for example, of Rice as the 6 and Marino on the left 8, he's probably going to struggle because he's not really that playmaker type that would link up the play like a Martin Odegaard would. But I'm excited to see him with Zubimendi, because Zubimendi finds him between the lines. He's able to drop a shoulder, get forward on goal, and hopefully get a long-range strike off. We saw how dangerous he was in that Manchester City game last season. So I think he's going to have a real big impact. And I think that after a full season last year of senior football, where I don't think anyone anticipated he would play as much as he did, I think that he's going to play even more than assuming he doesn't get injured or hurt or anything like that. I think he's going to play even more than he did last season. And I'm looking to see him develop in that middle position, because we have Madueke now, we've got Saka. Hopefully before the end of the summer, we sign another left winger. All injuries going our way, we shouldn't really be seeing him off the right-hand side, so he can solely develop in that key central position.
Lots of people very excited about Ethan Nwaneri and, of course, his new contract news and the impact that he might make next season. People talking about being a sort of 8 and a number 10, obviously a wide player as well. Many people are very confident he's going to get ample game time. And Mo, I love that way you described him earlier, just saying he's a carrier, long shots, burst of pace. And we lack. That is exactly. He's a very different profile to what we have in chaps. Listen, I think the substitutes bench this season has been extended to 9. So, he's going to get... I'm pretty sure I've read that or heard that somewhere. Maybe the chat will correct me. I'm sure you will, because you're all very, very knowledgeable. But like Ethan Nwaneri, like he's going to get plenty of time on the bench. I've put a poll out and I've rephrased the question to ask, how many starts do we think Ethan Nwaneri will make across all competitions this season for Arsenal? The options were 0 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19, or 20 plus. And it's very split, actually. People are really unsure. 33% saying 10 to 14. Another 33%, another third saying 15 to 19. Just under a quarter of you think he's going to make more than 20 starts this season. That is a bold claim from you guys, because the squad is stacked. And talking of stacked, Jizzle McDizzle says, Nwaneri is old news. Dowman. Jokes, of course. But we have another one. Wayne, let's stay with you. I don't really want to go into sort of the negativity of the preseason friendlies, just because we've covered them on the match reaction videos, and I talked to Sammy Mokbel about that last night. But one of the big highlights this summer has been Max Dowman. I mean, the hype has been real, right? We've been hearing about him on socials for, I would say, a year, 2 years. But what this kid is doing is frightening. And let me just kind of just reinforce, because I did a video with Art de Roche of The Athletic about the talent factory that we have at Hale End. And with Max Dowman in particular, he made his debut to play with 18-year-old players at 13. He is the youngest goal scorer in the UEFA Youth League at 14. He made his debut in the Premier League 2, which is 21s and under, and every now and again you get a 22 and a 23-year-old in there, at 14. He's made his debut for Arsenal at 15. And he does not look out of place, Wayne.
He doesn't at all. However, I don't expect him to play a massive part this season. I think Arsenal fans should probably taper expectations a little bit, simply because he is only 15.
But what about that notion where if you're good enough, you're old enough?
I agree with it, but we have a big squad as it is already. And while you could argue, well, he's better than some of the players that will be on the bench at times, we know Arteta by this point. We know that he's going to go for that seniority. He's going to go for that experience. I expect him to make his Premier League debut this season, probably off the bench. A bit like Nwaneri did a couple of seasons ago as a 15-year-old against Brentford. Came off the bench for the final sort of 5-10 minutes. Arteta got pelters from it from TalkSport. Every Arsenal fan laughed. I expect we'll be having that conversation again with Dowman. I think the big thing with Dowman this season is what we do with him in the Champions League. Because obviously in the Champions League, you can have a sort of a bench of like 11 plus, I think. You can have everyone that you bring across with you on the bench for the Champions League. But I don't think, and I might be wrong on this, but I don't believe he's eligible at his age to just kind of be included.
Until December, he's not available.
Yeah. He's not available as an under 21 player or whatever. So we would have to register him as a member of the squad, which we would be allowed to do if we wanted to. I don't think we will do that, but if we do that, then that will be even more exciting because we'll be able to give him more games in those sort of key situations, which I hope is the case. I just don't see Arteta doing
it. He can roll into the B squad. You know, they've got a B list. He can roll into the B list.
But you have to. I think you have to like register him as that. Yeah. So if you're not registered him in the list of A, B, whatever it is, then he can't appear because he's not. You don't have to register under 21s. But
it'll be interesting to see if they actually do that, because then that's a lot of confidence in putting him in at that stage, because at December time, you're probably getting to the latter stages of the league phase. I think it's the latter stages of the league phase, isn't it? The dead rubbers, effectively.
But we already know he's going to miss the start of the season with a holiday that he's absolutely earned and is very, very due. So maybe he comes back for the start of the Carabao Cup, which is normally sort of in the middle of September times, and it'll be good to see him. Depending on who the opposition is, it'll be really good to see him maybe get a start in that competition and build up his minutes from there. And I would love to see a Carabao Cup game where we start like a front four of like Saka on the left, Dowman on the right, Nwaneri through the middle as a 10, or something like that, just for Haylen's sake. But yeah, I think he'll start a game this season at some point. I think he'll make his Premier League debut at some point this season, but I don't think he will have a huge impact or be part of the first team for a lot this season. But I'm not surprised by that. He's still so young.
Keenan, I'm not sure if you're talking about Max. You might be talking about Ethan here, but forgive me, I'm a bit slow with the chat. But do come back and confirm. He says he'll play 40 games and he's going to play in the opener. Do your research. I mean, what I would say, and lots of people talking about his sort of playing style, the way this kid drives with the ball and almost slaloms through defenders like a skier. The guile, the balance, the ball manipulation, the ball control, the little burst of pace, and then the pause where he sort of just stops and the defenders just keep going. Like, at 15 to do it against grown men is frankly absurd. And for me, I don't want to be too sensational, but like, given what he has done in these two games, you know, he's won the penalties for us and the impact he's made at sort of those driving runs. This kid has to be on the bench at Old Trafford. Like, it hasn't clicked for us in pre-season. And I know we haven't, we've seen a mishmash of our sort of starting 11, but like, if we go to Old Trafford and he's not on the bench and we're trailing for whatever reason and we don't do anything to kind of turn it around, I think Arsenal fans are going to lose their minds. I mean, I know Arteta's talked about give him a holiday. He hasn't had a break. Kid's 15. I know he's year 10. It's ridiculous. But like, from what I've seen, he needs to be on the bench here. I mean, is that a lot of pressure? Do you think that might happen?
I don't think it will. I'm like Wayne. I think Arteta will protect him, and he said he's going to have a holiday after pre-season. So I don't expect it to be in the United squad. He will get into a Premier League squad pretty quickly. I think he just wants to rest him. He wanted him to be in pre-season because pre-season's easier to experiment with, and we have done that. He's got a lot of minutes. For a 15-year-old to get 30 minutes in each game is pretty unheard of. But I think it's probably going. I'd be very surprised if he gets into the United team. But stranger things have happened. I mean, he's been very impressive. So it might be that his the way he's taken the games has convinced Arteta that he has to put him into the matchday squad. But I think everyone's in agreement. He will get game time. He'll probably, Ethan at 15 got one game against Brentford. And he had, I think, he was on the bench for a few. I expect Max to get more than that. Because I think, and again, this is very bad comparison because obviously at 15 you can't compare the two. But at 15, Dowman looks a level ahead of Ethan Nwaneri. And that's nothing bad because we're talking about a truly potential iconic player. Because I've not seen a player for a long time, and I'm including Lionel Messi into this. This is my personal thing. Lionel Messi at 15... I don't think had the same kind of impact in a game in preseason. And again, this is going way back that Dowman had for me. And that's just a big generalization on my part because there are so many, takes in football, etc. But for me, just the way he's gone about these games, his decision making, the driving runs, all of these kind of things. I've not seen that. Where he's going to need to improve right now is in his ball strike. He's got a phenomenal shot. It's kind of a little bit off target. I've seen him do a lot better, and obviously he's trying to snatch at shots. So he's going to make it. What's going to be interesting is how Arteta protects him now and allows him to develop properly, because it's easy to hype up. England, we hype it up really quickly, and then we can destroy a player very quickly as well.
Well, you've hyped him up because you compared him to Messi, and people are losing their minds. Vig says, whoops, what's going on here? Vig says, Messi was up against Ronaldinho, Iniesta, Xavi, Deco, etc. Stop it, please. This is a great one. This is a great question from, for flip's sake, the chat is so fast, I can't even keep up. Jaffa says, okay, no, you didn't watch Messi in a preseason game of 15. Come on, Yembele.
I did. I totally watched. I watched I watched him a lot. I watched his career. I was the tactico before the tactico started. Yes.
We know you watch.
That's why the TNT called me an analyst.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. Well, listen. I do want to say that I think obviously we have to protect him, and obviously, he's a special talent. I've only seen him in these sort of 2 appearances, and what I've seen is that he's more exciting than anyone has been in preseason. I'm excited. And I think, and lots of people sort of asking the question, can he play this season? I think Keenan's answered it beautifully. You can play if you're 15, as long as you turn 16 in that season at some point. So we shall see. Keenan is Yembele's burner. Dowman is better than Messi than he was at his age. Messi didn't break until 16. There you go. His decision making is top. Ball control is top, and it's quite telling that the first teamers are passing to him like they want him to do stuff.
Messi did have Ronaldinho in front of him. It wasn't exactly like it was had an easy player to break through against, is it?
Well, I put the poll out. How many appearances do we think Max Dowman will make in the league this season? Options were 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15, or 16 plus. Just shy of 40% of you think that he'll get between 6 and 10 games in the league this season. Not starts, but 6 and 10 appearances, which I think is quite believable. That's mental. 15-year-old kid. Like, I can see him coming off the bench to try and make a change when we go into that sort of horse shape and we're trying to chase our first goal of the game and there's 8 minutes to go. Arteta's just going to bring him on in 85th minute. But I can see him. For sure. Right, let's move on through the slide decks. So big season for Max Dowman. Really looking forward to it. This is the serious stuff. And I don't want to go into sort of the analysis of the window so far, chaps. We've done that to death, right, on the channel. But I want to talk about the pressure that Mikel Arteta is under, which we kind of started talking about last week, Wayne. But the simple question is, are we ready to compete? Everyone seems to have just lost them. Well, actually, no, that's unfair. Let me go back. The friendlies that we've had, the 2 back-to-back friendly defeats, Villarreal and obviously the enemy. There's an element of our fan base completely lost their minds. We've gone backwards. Old habits creeping in. Arteta's not the guy. We're not going to do it. Our signings are awful. We've lost it. And then there's an element of the fan base that are like, don't care. It's just a preseason. Results don't matter. Performance matters, and there's things that we need to work on. But literally couldn't give less of a shit. What side of the fence do you sit on, Wayne? And from what you've seen in terms of playing style, are we ready to take Liverpool seriously this summer?
I'm on the side of the fence that's concerned by what I've seen during preseason, but I won't go as far as saying as I'm concerned to say that we won't compete, because I think we're a really good side, and I have a lot of belief in this team. I have a lot of belief in a lot of the players, and I think that it's impossible to sit here, and I know that a lot of Arsenal fans have been negative about the quality of the transfer window, and I agree with some of it. I disagree with some of it. I think we've actually done quite well in most parts, and I'm disappointed that we're going into another season with the left-hand side and the left wing in particular with questions unanswered. But for me, at the end of the day, when you look at last season, what was the reason? A lot of Arsenal fans like to put the blame or use as the reason why we didn't succeed. The injuries. Well, we don't have currently, right now, today, when we're having this conversation, we don't currently have that injury crisis. So we're already in a better position than we were for half of the season last season. When you look at the additions that we've made, a lot of Arsenal fans have said, well, we're only a striker away. Well, we've gone and got one of the most prolific strikers in Europe. And we've got him in not as early as I would have liked. I would have liked him in a lot earlier, but we've got him in. got him enough time to hopefully acclimatise to sort of the team and being back in England and stuff like that. But I think obviously for us, we're going to need a little bit of a tactical shift. We're going to need a little bit of a change to get the best out of him. When you look at some of our injury issues last season, you look at the lack of depth. Well, we've addressed all of that depth. We've addressed, again, pretty much everything in the squad apart from the left wing, and that is a big problem, which I hope we address before the end of the window. So I can't now sit here and say we're not ready to compete when in every sort of aspect apart from the left wing, we've got better fitness wise, we've got better depth, we've got better quality with our starting players coming back. Now, tactically, I've got my doubts. Tactically, I'm concerned about some of the things that I've seen, like I said, in pre-season. But we competed a couple of seasons ago and the season before that, and we were up to a point before sort of the injuries happened around sort of November, December time, where we were still competing. Like we haven't got worse. We've got better. We may not have got as good as we had hoped with this summer, but we're a better side than we were last season. Now it's on Arteta and the coaches and whoever else is coming up with the tactical plan to get the best out of these players.
Do you know, I was listening to the Arsenal Vision podcast today on my way into Central for work, and Elliot made a really excellent point about we've not lost any big profile players over the last year or two. And actually what we've done is we've added 6 players to a squad that went toe-to-toe with Manchester City the year before. And of course, we were struck so badly with so many horrific injuries last season, more than your average team would get in one campaign altogether, plus all the PGMOL stuff and the decisions, all blah, 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 right? But like, we've added some really good talent, to be fair. Like, no, everyone's not going to be convinced, right? There's going to be people out there that are going to doubt Victor Gyökeres. I've seen it. People wanted Sesko. They're not happy with Gyökeres. They don't think he's going to have an impact. They don't think that we play that way to suit him. And of course, that'll take a bit of time. Some people, Mosquera, good defender, but did we really need him? And some people moaning about Kepa, another sort of Chelsea player. Zubimendi, it's been a long time coming, but I was at the Emirates on Wednesday, and I had people around me sort of saying he's not physical enough, he's not tall enough. It's just like, come on. Norgard, not everyone's cup of tea because he's come from Brentford and he's not anyone that we would have had on top of our list. And Madueke, as you can see in the chat, I think that's a timing issue. We spent £52 million in total on Noni Madueke, and now we're counting our pennies and struggling to cobble together a reasonable bid for Eze. So people aren't going to be happy. I get it, but they're good players in important roles, and we've bolstered up a squad. And actually, the truth still remains, Jim, that if we can keep our squad from last season fit, like if Havertz stays fit the whole season, if Saka stays fit the whole season, if Gabriel Magalhaes stays fit the whole season, like we do close the gap, because we're still fundamentally a very, very good football team. And the 2 fixtures that we've just had, mishmash of teams. You're not going to get Ødegaard and Rice and Gabriel coming off the bench at Old Trafford. I've seen the training pictures today, and I'm buzzing about Old Trafford because everyone looks good. Havertz is back in the mix as well. So I just feel that there has been a little bit of overreaction. I do agree with you, Wayne. There are 1 or 2 things that I've seen that I'm thinking, oh, I don't get nervous, but a bit shaky. Do you know what I mean? Like,
do you know what the big
it's an overreaction.
Yeah, do you know what the big thing is as well? And look, I'm not happy with the way that we've played in this preseason. I think 2 open play goals in 4 games is very concerning. And like you mentioned, the habits that we've got fallen into with the horseshoe, with the lack of build-up. And I'm not really happy with the lack of changes or differences that we've seen in preseason. Those are my concerns. But as you know, my doubts aren't with the players. My doubts aren't really with the squad. My doubts are with Arteta and whether he can go up another level. I think personally, he's taken us the 95%. I don't know whether he can take us the 100%. But now that he's got the tools in place, and hopefully by the end of the window, one of those tools will be sort of the left wing. We will have 100% of all of the questions that we needed answering coming into the summer pretty much answered. The thing that I'm maybe holding on to and clinging on to with that thought of Old Trafford is we've not actually seen our first team together yet. Yeah. And we got a bit annoyed about it in midweek because we wanted to see a midfield of Rice, Zubimendi and Ødegaard. We wanted to see a front three of Saka, maybe Madueke start on the left-hand side and Gyökeres up front. We wanted to see that, but we've not actually seen it yet. So hopefully, fingers crossed, on Saturday, we play like a 70-minute match with all of our main starters ready for Old Trafford. Knowing Arteta, he's probably going to throw some sort of spanner in the works and start like Kepa in goal or something, and we'll get annoyed. But that's what I'm kind of clinging on to at the minute.
My unpopular take, very, very unpopular take, is that I think Christian Norgard has started the last 2 games for a reason, and I've got a weird feeling that Arteta is going to line him up at Old Trafford because he feels Zubimendi might not be ready to go in the middle of the pitch. But I hope I'm wrong.
If we do that, that is going to tell us what we need to know for the season.
I hope I'm wrong. Yembele, your thoughts on, I guess, the pressure now on Mikel because the results haven't gone our way in pre-season. Of course, the Emirates Cup tomorrow, which we'll talk about in just a second. Keenan's talking about something that's been very popularly suggested as well recently. You know, why can't we swap Odegaard and Rice in the centre to just vary things up, and maybe that'll open up our left-hand side? What have you made of the summer, Yem?
Again, it's really hard to discern where we're at because, as you've both put it, we haven't seen the true first team play together. So it's hard. How do you assess where our settled first team really is? Because you've had Christian Norgard start, quite a few games. Martin Zubimendi really hasn't started in a game in earnest properly. He's been, like a half. He's played a half usually. So there are question marks. Tomorrow, as Wayne said, will probably be I would expect, unless Arteta is as psychotic as we think he is, will be the first team. I would expect the team that lines up at Old Trafford. It's the last game setting. I think there might be one more behind closed doors friendly that they're trying to arrange at the moment. But I would expect the majority of the team that's going to start Old Trafford to start tomorrow. That may give us a bit more of an indication. But there are concerns. I think, again, like most people, I thought we would stylistically change a little bit to try and get through the horseshoe. And there were parts of the Villarreal game at the start where you thought, okay, they're moving the ball quicker, they're trying to overload them a bit more and do that. But I don't think it's enough, personally, for me, what I saw in terms of where we're trying to work the central areas a bit more, where we're trying to work it out to the left a lot more. Has Gabriel Martinelli, actually, taken some of the criticisms that he's had, to try and affect the game a bit more? I don't know. I'm on the fence slightly as to where we are. I don't know that we're ready 100%, but the big caveat you've got to put against all of this is it's a marathon, not a sprint. The teams who really do win the Premier League typically are the ones who build up through the season, who get through the first games. They're not amazing. They don't blow teams away, because we did that. Don't you remember? A couple of years ago, we blew teams away in the first half, tired by the second half of the season, and then we were done. I think Arteta's learned that it's a marathon that you have to start and build up. Your fitness levels are not going to be there all the time. So I'm not necessarily worried about that. What I'm worried about is when we come up against the mid block, the low block, how we get through that, because I haven't seen anything yet that's told me we've got a solution to that. And we're going to come against that a lot more than we think than last season, even, because teams have figured it out. You overload, you just pack the defence, and it'll be Saka and hope, and you've frustrated Arsenal to the degree that it becomes very stodgy, horseshoe, etc. Have we learned enough about that? Because one thing about Arteta, and I still find it frustrating, is he's very rigid in his approach. He hasn't really done what Pep's done, really, and adjusted himself to try and beat the low blocks. It's very much the same pattern. But again, I could be very surprised tomorrow and then at Old Trafford, where we absolutely go hell for leather and we're completely different. Arteta is very good at sandbagging. We have seen this in the past. He sandbags quite a lot. So I remain to be surprised.
Sorry, FK. I was going to say, just the one thing I disagree there with you, Yem, was yes, it is a marathon and not a sprint. But I think we said that a lot last season. We were okay with drawing against Brighton the way that we did. We were okay with drawing against Man City the way that we did because of the red cards in context. But I think statistically over the past, I saw a tweet flowing around, I think it's over the past 10, 12 years, statistically, teams that have won the Premier League have taken 20 2.5, so 23 points from the first 10 games. In our first 10 games, we've got Man United, Man City, Liverpool, Newcastle, and I think we end that with Spurs. So I don't think we're in a position to start slow, and then hopefully kick on like we did a couple of seasons ago.
What I mean is that we are not going to go full tilt, i.e. that we're not going to try and go hell for, players are at half fitness, 75% of fitness effectively. And it's typically that, there is going to be a struggle. I expect us to struggle in the first few games, and we might nick it, and we might get a few draws. The reason is that I've seen with Arteta that he typically tries to get through the first couple of games. And I think last season, Wayne, for me, there were a few compounding elements. The Brighton game, we should have beaten them, but there was a couple of, we know the elements that came into the game, and unfortunately, some of it was our fault, complacency, but some of it was enforced. I just think that there is this kind of, it's a slow burn towards us getting better. And last season we couldn't do what I expect we would want to do, which is to ramp up the level, the intensity in our game, because obviously we had so many injuries that decimated the squad and ruined the flow. I think we have solidified a bit more of a squad that can handle those multiple games, because as you and I have talked about on multiple occasions, the cup competitions are where we always struggle, because Arteta tends to play the first team, which should not happen. I expect with a bigger squad that we have now, we should be having, the players like the Norgards, the Noni Madueke starting these games to allow the Sakas, to allow the Martinellis to get rest, because that's what it should be happening. Whether he does that, again, I hope he's learned a lesson, but I'm never quite sure in that regard.
Here's a question for you both from Rancid Pumpkin. Thanks for watching tonight, my man. It says, how many points do we need in that first 5? So when you talked about our opening fixtures, I mean, it is a tough fixture. I mean, from a return of 15 points. So let's go with the big 6, because there's 6 tough fixtures. What do we need from that first 18?
I'd say 10. I'd say the first 10 is pretty good. It's
only 10.
So that first 6 is United away, Leeds at home. To me, those both have to be wins. Anfield away, I think we lose that one. Forest at home needs to be a win, so that's 9. City at home, we don't really know how they're going to bounce back this season, so I would say a draw for now.
No, Rodri, we've got to take them. We've got to take them at home.
St James's Park this season, with everything that's gone on to Newcastle, I don't care how they want to try and bully us. Slap them, and I don't care. So that's our first 6. I think we need 13 minimum 13 from 18. If we're talking title challenge, I think we need a minimum of 13. So that's from 6.
How many do you think we will get then? Is the other part of that question then for me?
Why don't we ask 10. That question in next week's show? When we look ahead to Old Trafford, we'll do a deeper dive into those 6 and really get your thoughts. We might even whack it on a slide so we got the evidence, because the streets don't forget, and then I can rub it back in your faces when it's all horribly wrong. We got to start well. We've got to start strong. It is clear to say that there is pressure on Arteta. We're going to get your thoughts on something that you'd like to see improved for this coming season. But before we do that, we're going to have a little bit of fun, which is basically, I want you guys to imagine that you are the new sporting director of Arsenal Football Club. And everyone keeps telling me, Wayne, sell players. Why isn't Bert selling players? Why can't Arsenal sell? And listen, I agree. We are really terrible at selling players. But so what I asked today in the morning on my way to work, and I'm going to read out some sort of suggestions that we've had, some pretty good, some absolutely batshit, because it was just an interesting gauge as to where Arsenal fans are in terms of realistic valuations and potential destinations of these players. So I'm going to put it to you both. Of these players, who are you expecting to sell, for how much, and to whom? And I just want to get your feelings, because I want to gauge your A, valuations, B, whether you're completely deluded or not, and C, just a bit of fun to see, where you think they might end up. So, Wayne, let's start with you. Now, you might say to me, FK, we're not going to sell any of these lot, and that's entirely possible. But if you were going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, how much are you going to sell them for? Because some of the valuations we've had on socials are absolutely insane, and I'll read them through at some point. So go for it, man. You start, Wayne.
Oh yeah, watch your
Um,
currency as well, because we've seen the whole currency.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
do you want
Stop
euros?
it.
Do you want dollars? Do you want yen?
I'm talking Great British
Pesos. I want
pounds.
pesos. I want
Great
pesos.
British pounds. All right. And chat, let me know who you'd sell, how much, and to whom. And I will bring them up. And by me sharing them on screen is not a reinforcement of a good opinion. It is just an opinion. So Wayne, you go first.
So
In
how
fact,
do you want?
just while you think about it, let me tickle you with this, right? Adam_Tufts08, really loyal viewer of the show, says, right, Sambi Lokonga, 10 to 15 million pounds. He's got a year
You're
to go on his
mental.
contract,
No.
and he's not played for Arsenal in over 2 years. Fabio Vieira, 25 to 30 million pounds.
No.
Zinchenko, 15 to 20. Reece Nelson, 25 million pounds. Trossard, 30 to 40 million pounds, almost double what we paid for him without the add-ons. Jakub Kiwior, decent profit, 40 million pounds. I think that's reasonable. Gabriel Jesus, who can't run at the moment, 35 million pounds. I mean, I love Adam. He's very nice in the messages all the time. But I think to myself, Adam, I don't know what you had for breakfast. I want some of it, but that you're miles off.
Those are
Dan
those
Alpha.
delusion flakes that they have, that serum.
Hear me out. Dan Alpha, right? Dan is a very loyal Patreon member in the chat. Bought us the the patties. Do you remember
Yeah.
Wayne at the M's? Right, Nelson is more like it. A loan with obligation, 3 to 5 million pound sort of loan fee. Fabio Vieira, wishful thinking, he says 20 to 25 mil if we can. He's gone a bit crazy on Sambi Lokonga. 15 to 20 million, Dan. What are you doing? He says Trossard 20 million, so break even without the add-ons. Kiwior, he'd sell, but only if a 40 million pound plus opportunity came in. And of course, I think it was Porto who offered a loan plus an obligation of something ridiculous. And Dan also reckons Zinchenko for 15 million pounds plus. So come on then, Wayne. We're obviously not going to sell all of them, but
No.
if you had to sell 2 or 3, how much do you reckon you're going to get for them at best, and who are you going to sell them to?
I mean, if I had to sell them, I'd be willing to sell any and all of these guys. If I'm brutally honest, I'd
Even
be happy.
Martinelli? No.
Yeah, I love Martinelli and I want him to succeed. But if Arteta's not going to change the way that he uses the left wing, Martinelli's just not suited for it. It's just not going to work. And I just think that it'll be a shame because I love him and I want him to succeed. But I think he'll bang at Bayern Munich or somewhere like that, for example. And I think that we could get a bit of money for him. But I don't expect Martinelli to go this summer. I don't expect Gabriel Jesus to go this summer because, like you said, the injury. I can see him leaving in January, potentially for a decent amount of money. But I don't see him going this summer. Reece Nelson will go, I think, on loan. I think I'm along the similar lines of Dan with that one. Probably like a 3 to 5 million loan fee and then a permanent of like 12 million or something like that. And I think for a player who is homegrown, is on 100k a week, is now 25 years old, has been with us for 4 years and never really settled into a team for whatever reason, good or bad, whether he should have been given more chance or not. The time is up. I know he had a impressive couple of minutes in pre-season, but he's not going to be here long term. Trossard, I would sell for anything between sort of 20 to 25 million. I think that we could probably get that for Trossard simply because he's actually looked good for us for the majority of the time that he's been here, and he's on, for a first team player, he's on a relatively okay salary, like for a team that might be willing to sign him. So I think we could get 20 to 25 million for him. Zinchenko, he's not going anywhere. He's on a big wage. He's only got 1 year left. Why would he go? I think he's going to stick around for the rest of this season. Fabio Vieira, I think we can get 20 million for. I'd be happy to get 20 million pounds for him. It's a bit disappointing because you look at some of the fees for players of his age, and you'd kind of hope that maybe we could get a bit more than 20 million, but no, I think 20 million would be my valuation. Lokonga, I can see him leaving for free at the end of the window. Like I can see us just coming to a mutual agreement. He'll leave at the end of the window as a free agent and sign somewhere, maybe like late in November or December. Kiwior for me is the one, and I've spoke about him on this show quite a lot positively, and I don't want, like, I'm not actively selling him. But the problem that we've had as a club over the majority of the time that Arteta especially has been manager, we sell a season too late rather than a season too early, if that makes sense. Like, we wait until a player's value has completely tanked before we're willing to sell them. Kivior right now, today, I don't think will be more valuable than he is right now. Next summer in January, I don't think he'll be more valuable than he is today. Because if you think about the games we play between now and January, you imagine Gabriel is going to start the majority of them. And from preseason, look, it's only been 2 games. I've been super impressed by Mosquera at both right back, right centre back, and potentially at left centre back. I don't mind Kivior staying. I don't actively want to push him out the door. But if you can get 35 million for him, I am willing to accept that. Simply because
this is a 25-year-old Champions League, Premier League proven level sort of player, Polish international, plays at Arsenal. Like, 35 million seems really, really reasonable.
I would like more, and if maybe Bournemouth.
Obviously, I know, I get that.
Bournemouth, if you've just sold 2 of your defenders, if you've got big money from PSG for your centre back and Real Madrid, if you want to throw us at 50 million for Kivior, then I'm down for that. But I think that the teams that will be willing to sign Kivior, I don't think will be willing to give us much more than 40 million. So I think minimum of 35, and I'm listening to offers.
Logical Nonsense says Kivior value is peak now after pocketing Mbappe and will drop if he starts getting burned. I mean, look, listen, for me, Jakub Kivior is a player who's not going to probably get much game time as long as Saliba and Gabriel are fit. And I think to your point, Wayne, you got to sell while high. And another way to look at it, and Yem, I want to get your thoughts. But before we do that, Yembele has an exclusive, a Yem Bomber. And he's on mute.
I don't think so. I don't think it's a bomber. I think it's so our group chat, which is always good fun, has just put out something that Tottenham will bid for Emirates Eze. Obviously, James Maddison has gone down with a season-ending injury, and it's logical that they're going to start looking for a replacement. And Eze, they were looking at Eze anyway. So I think they're going to. The reports are that they will start to bid, and apparently we are still not really there, which has been the story. I mean, one of our good friends who we know, obviously Hari, has been saying it feels like it won't, it's not necessarily there at the moment.
Well, Sammy Mockbell was on last night and he said expect the newspapers to pick up the Maddison injury and the Eze availability and just put 2 and 2 together. He said Eze absolutely wants Arsenal, no doubt about it. Yeah. It is basically just up to Arsenal as to whether we can cobble together the funds, and Crystal Palace would be very happy to keep them both. Of course, Eberechi Eze in action this weekend against Liverpool in the Community Shield. Lots of people saying sell Kivior in the Premier League. Yeah, let's get your thoughts. You're sporting director. I can't really disagree with much of what Wayne said. I mean, I wouldn't sell Martinelli and I wouldn't sell Kivior for less than 40 million. It's got to be a big move.
I'll go through each of the players logically. Sambi Lokonga, nothing's going to happen. No one wants to buy him. He's been pretty poor actually in every single loan apart from Luton, and that tells you the level that he's really is. So I think his contract comes in end of the season. I think it's either a termination or they'll find a loan for him, and then he'll just end his contract and go. Kivior, I agree with both of you. This is the peak. This is the time to sell him because I start to see bits and pieces of his game, which I think will start to scare clubs a little bit if he plays more and more. When I was watching him, in that goal that Villarreal scored, where he was trying to hold off the defender, I think that's a concern area. So you've got to sell him now while he's hot. He's just, he's had a very good season. Get him sold. I think if you can get 25 to 35 million, get it sold. Who's going to have the money? Only Premier League teams. And I find it really galling that Zabani, who's a lesser player, has he had the European experience, gone up against Mbappe? 50 million he's going to go for eventually. So I don't know how this is, because Jakub Kivior's not on high wages either. He's pretty decent wage actually, but it's just Arsenal, isn't it? I think he'll go for 25, 35 million. Fabio Vieira, I expect to go. I think Stuttgart is probably going to be there. That feels like the one that's going to go. From what Sammy said as well, it sounds like, they're trying to reach a deal. I think it'll be about 20 million. Maybe add-ons as well, some performance add-ons. I agree with both of you. Zinchenko, why is he going to go? There's nothing he will not, unless it's a superb offer that matches his wages. Trossard, yeah, I think he will go. I think that the lack of contract signing means that he's probably wants to move on. It's just now who's going to offer. If Dortmund come in, as they've been talking about, I think that he will go because that's still a very good club for him in Europe. Saudi, maybe, but we don't. No one in Saudi wants our players, do they? No, I don't think we do very well there. Reece Nelson, agree with you both. It's going to be a loan with hopefully an obligation, but he's had so many season-ending injuries. No club is going to take a risk and buy him for the fees that are wanted. It'll be 10 million at most, I feel, if he does go on a permanent. Jesus, don't think we're going to get. I don't think he's going to leave this season. I think they'll allow him to recover. He may get a few minutes game time this season, get a few appearances, and then we sell him towards the end of the season. But again, I do wonder what kind of player is going to come back from a double ACL. I don't think he'll be able to compete at the top end of the Premier League. Gabriel Martinelli, they've said that they don't want to sell him. Arteta is very adamant that he doesn't want to sell him. The problem is his value is tanking by the year, and it's going to tank again until we get to an Ainsley Maitland-Niles scenario where we sell him for free, which is the worst case scenario. I would sell him now if a decent offer came in, but who's going to offer him? Saudi don't seem to have acted on what they, the early season things. But if an offer came in for 45 to 50 million, you'd probably say, yeah, I would take it. As much as I love Martinelli, but the fact is, as Wayne has said, we don't play to the system to help him along. He's an inside forward, not a winger.
It's cheap. I mean, look, lots of people in the chat have been bringing up so many comments throughout the chat. I mean, my personal take, before I ask you both, a really interesting question from Mr. 142. Lukonga, it'll be a loan and release on a free. Kivior, I think the way that the noise has come out of Porto is either going to be low-balling sort of offers coming in, loan plus option, loan plus obligation. We're probably going to end up keeping him, which isn't a bad thing at all because he's a good player, fine player, but I think his value doesn't get any higher. Fabio Vieira will probably be a loan with an option to buy. Zinchenko, I think, is going to stay way too expensive in terms of wage. Only has a year to go. Family is settled. Kids go to school in London. All that sort of stuff. He can go in a year and take home millions of pounds in a signing on contract. Maybe end up going to Saudi. Who knows? Trossard's one to watch. He's potentially one who's quite valuable. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near what we sort of paid for him because he's 3 years older and obviously not better and not younger and not more energetic. So I think he'll probably be like a 10, 15 million pound sale if we can. Reece, loan. Gabby Jesus, injured. And Martinelli, who Sammy Mokbel said was not really for sale. Hand of Arsenal has also said along those lines. I think the club have been looking to sort of protect Martinelli. He's 23 years of age, still a young boy. But to your point, Yem, the club have to do much more. Arteta has to do much more to try and get the best out of Martinelli. So I'm not as optimistic. And this is why I want to ask this question to you guys. Mr. 142 says, Berta is still on fraud watch. He needs to prove that he can sell and reinvest in our squad. The question that I want to ask is, I hear this a lot. Oh, this is the litmus test for Andrea Berta. He's got to sell. But when you think about the situation that these players are in, contracts running low, really high wages, not really much else. They can't really go higher. So what club lower than Arsenal, not at Europe's top table, maybe not even in London, a really attractive city in England, are realistically going to actually offer good money and cover wages for any of these boys? Every now and again it will happen. Eddie Nketiah, masterstroke, Alex Iwobi, Emil Smith-Rowe, every 3-4 years, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, there'll be one sale because a team is either desperate or the timing is just right. But what do we realistically expect Berta to do? How can he initiate or generate interest in these players? I mean, do either of you have an answer to that? And let me know in the chat.
Well,
Mr. 142, he's perfectly entitled to ask that question. Let me ask it again. Berta is still on fraud watch for him. He's done some really good things, but until he sells, until he passes that test, Mr. 142 is not going to rate him. Yeah.
That's it's hard to say because again, a majority of these, are they saleable assets? Kivior and Trossard are probably the most saleable. So it's a question of, does Arteta want to sell them, or are we going to get the value? I think you hold value for Kivior because he's proved himself, as you said. So it's about the sale quality of these players. None of these players are pulling up trees necessarily, apart from Kivior or Trossard. So it's hard to sell a dead donkey, if you call it that. It's very hard to do that. But Andrea Berta has got experience, and you do look towards someone with that experience, that nous, to see what he can do. But one caveat that Samuel Melbell did put in, there will have to be a big sale. A big name will have to go in the next year. So he either sells very well this season, or there will be a major name who has to go, because the back books have to be balanced. And Liverpool have been very good at that. They got rid of Diaz, and now Nunez is going. So one player will have to go, and it's now the question of, is it a Gabriel Martinelli who has been underperforming? But that action will have to be done. It's either this season or next season. So there is a big sale coming. It's now who it is. And I don't think Trossard is considered for me a big sale necessarily, because I don't think it generates enough. But
Well, as
it's just
Boston
hard.
says, it is hard. You wonder why we can't sell. We're playing Football Manager and severely undervaluing the players. Leo Trossard is a sensational striker. Whoever buys him, if you're watching, £50 million is daylight robbery. You guys are taking the mick. £50 million. Who you think you got?
Yeah. I don't think Saudi are watching Latte Firm on a
Friday. Wait. Salams, Habibi. £50 million.
Can you imagine? Look at this fine play. Very nice for you, my
whoa. No.
For you, 49 million.
No, the bald man on the TV said 20 million.
Hey, yo, Saudi know who I am. Don't you worry about that, sunshine. Look, that was a lot of fun, but listen, it's difficult. And I think, we've got 3 weeks to now go until the end of the season, end of the transfer window, sorry. The pressure is on Berta, the pressure is on the club, but I think there are reasons why these players are going to be difficult to shift. They're on really high wages. They're settled in London. There's not many places that these players are going to desperately want to go and play, because in really high wages. This is why I understand now Chelsea. Madueke was on 50k a week. Kai Havertz came to Arsenal and doubled his pay, 260 grand a week. Like, it's our own sort of faults. We've got to learn from this. We've got to do something that's slightly different. And of course, Arsenal is the place to be, and everywhere everyone wants to be.
Do you know what will increase? Do you know what will increase this player's valuation?
Go on.
Winning titles.
Well, of course. So that is our transfer activity so far this window. Not that any of you guys need to be reminded of that. £200 million spent according to Sky Sports. That includes the Victor Gyökeres deal. And listen, if I'm being honest, we spent £900 million or whatever it is under Arteta since 2019. So in 10 windows, that's about £90 million a window. I couldn't have asked for a better way of spending this money. If I'd have known that we'd have had £200 million at the start of the window, of course I would have, 150 on Isak, 50 on someone else. But that wouldn't have solved so many different needs that we've got in the squad. So look, if Eze happens, that would be phenomenal. That is a sign that we all love and crave. Hopefully, there is a madness still to happen in this window. We shall see. Going back to what we were talking about in terms of improvements, I just wanted to ask you guys one quick question. So now pretend you're the gaffer. So you're moving on from sporting director. You moved up the ranks, chaps. A couple of you mentioned horseshoe. Both of you rather, mentioned horseshoe. And, I've talked about us being quite vulnerable in transition and how we're not moving the ball quickly or more directly ourselves. If I could say to you, what are the one or two things that you'd love to see Arteta improve, or love to see the team improve? And in chat, same question to you. Just one thing that you'd love Arsenal to do better this season, and don't make it obvious like I want to score 100 goals. Obviously, we all want to score goals, but like a tactical twitch, or a different player playing in a different position, or a different formation that you guys would like to see. Let me know. What do you reckon? So, Yem, let's start with you. If there's one thing that you wanted Arteta to improve for next season, what do you think it'd be better?
I think the system is so rigid. There's no fluidity, and especially in the front three. I love when the front three interchange. There's an interchange, and you don't know which side they're coming from, because it's predictable right now. Saka is the right winger. Just go to him, and then the defender is on. 2 to 3 defenders are on him. But if you don't know who's coming from what direction, and Martin Odegaard is popped up on the left, or he's popped up on the right, that's why I want to see a bit more unpredictability in the attack. It's too easy right now. I can tell you exactly, if it lines up tomorrow, Odegaard will be hard right, and Saka will be hard right. It's just so predictable that teams can easily predict how to line up. Just hold that right hand side and you're good. I want to see us move the players around a bit more, to see Saka a bit more on the left, to see Martin Odegaard float through the right, centre, and the left. It just feels like the system is so rigid. There's no flexibility. There's no incentive to move around. It's like if you don't move, if you stay your position, Arteta will be happy. But it does nothing for our general forward play, because teams know how we line up.
A couple of shouts here for rotation, Karen and Rofikov. Jonathan says, let the players be free. And I guess that's, let them be less risk averse and let them sort of play freely. V Vlad says exactly the same. Take more risks. Feels like we're overly cautious. Be better at transition, says Logical Nonsense. Rancid Pumpkin says less dominant and more direct. Saka playing centrally, says Kirit, on the Odegaard role. That would be a treat. Playing to our players' strengths. Now, we've talked about that. Martinelli is an inside forward. He is not an out-and-out winger. Victor Gyökeres, loves to play when he's got land, when he's got grass to sort of run into and attack the defence. Wayne, what's the one big thing that you'd love to see Arteta change?
I'm going to go in a bit of a different direction, because it's something that I've talked to you guys quite a lot about in the group chats. It's something that I've talked quite a lot about on the Can You Believe It podcast as well. And we also discussed it on our Latte Firm phone-ins. But for me, the big thing that if I had to focus on one area to improve, it would be our reaction after we lose or draw a game. And if you think back, and I think over the last 3 seasons especially, there's at least 2 occasions, at least in the season, where we will draw or lose a game, and that run will continue for at least 3 games. And I always joke, and I call it 3-game theory. If we draw a game, we are very, very unlikely to then just bounce back with a win in the very next game. So like an example of that was in the second half of last season. In the Premier League, 3 games in a row, we had a draw, obviously, in January against Brighton, the 1-1 with that stupid penalty. We then lost in the Carabao Cup to Newcastle. We then drew with Manchester United. We lost in the FA Cup to Man United. That's in 3 different competitions. But when then you look in the Premier League, that happened quite often. And the big one for me is that stretch of 3 against Liverpool, West Ham, and Southampton a few seasons ago. Every single time we tend to lose a game or draw a game, they come in bunches. And I don't think you can compete in the Premier League when something like that happens. I think the big thing that Pep done, the big thing that Klopp done with Liverpool, and I suppose in a different aspect last season, Slot, when they drew a game or when they lost a game, they went back out and they won the very next one. And I think if you're going to beat Liverpool, or if you're going to beat Manchester City to a Premier League title, they go on runs of they'll win 10 in a row, or they'll have 9 wins, 1 draw, a loss. And then they'll go unbeaten for another 10. And then they might have another loss. I don't think you can have losses or draws in bunches, because you lose that momentum. And by the end of that bunch, you're 6 points away from Liverpool. And that's already too big a gap. Or you've been caught up by Man City with a game in hand or whatever. And then you're just not going to win from there. So I think the big thing that I want us to work on this season is just reacting to a defeat. Reacting to a draw the very next game, maybe twisting something a little bit. Don't expect the exact same thing to work in the very next game. And it always tends to be 3 stupid games. Like I think last season it was like West Ham, Everton, and someone else, like before all of the injuries happened, and it was just flipping annoying. So yeah, I just don't want that to be the case again this year.
Lots of shouts for a front 2 of Havertz and Gyökeres. That'd be interesting because they're 2 very different players, but I think most of the takes are, just play a bit more freely, more direct, more, be quicker in transition, because that's the thing that I'd love. I'd love us to be much more effective on the break. We are so good at regains, but we're just so bad at converting them into shots on goal, and it's just frustrating. I think we could do much better there. Right, the Emirates Cup is tomorrow at the Emirates Stadium. Wayne, you're going tomorrow, and we're going to finish the show by talking about matchday rituals, which is the next couple of slides. That was a question from one of our Patreon members. It's a really great question, but it is the last friendly with a crowd tomorrow. How are you feeling about it, Wayne? Obviously excited to get back to the stadium, but are you expecting fireworks, and you can see there on the right-hand side the starting lineup from Wednesday. I think, or I'm hoping, Arteta's going to go strong.
Yeah, I'm hoping he goes strong as well. I wouldn't go as far as saying I'm expecting fireworks, although the last time I thought that, we went out and battered Granit Xhaka's Bayer Leverkusen at the Emirates. I think it was last season, 6-0 or 6-1 or whatever it was, and that was a really, really, really good performance in the Emirates Cup. I have to say, I will always miss the old format of the Emirates Cup. I wish they bring it back one weekend or for future seasons. But I am looking forward to seeing Nico Williams at the Emirates. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing our first 11 out at the Emirates play the majority of the match. And I'm hoping to see us play through balls to Gyökeres, because there were so many opportunities in that game in midweek where we could play it into the channel where he's on the shoulder and he wants to run and just get it up the pitch quicker into space where he can chase after it. So yeah, fingers crossed that we just see a performance that at least gives us confidence going into the Man United game. Like, I know all of us are going to sit here and say Man United are rubbish at the end of the day. We should be beating them. And yeah, we're a better side because we're a better side than them. But I just want us to go in with a performance that at least gives us belief. And I think the annoying part is Chelsea had a friendly today, and it was free on DAZN in the UK for anyone that was watching it. They just played with a freedom. They won 2-0, I think it was, but they just played with a freedom that like they were enjoying themselves and their fans were having fun. I just want our fans to watch us tomorrow and enjoy the match. I want them to enjoy the way that we play football.
Yeah, what's more important to you tomorrow, winning the game or a performance? Would you rather have a really brilliant performance but drawing or losing? Or would you rather, classic Arsenal for this preseason, but winning 1-0 or 2-0?
No, I think a performance is more necessary just to see if we're actually starting to click and starting to, rectify the issues. I mean, preseason's always a hard, the Villarreal game, you could see that some of our defensive play was sloppy, but you can also attest that that's just preseason and, they're not at 100%, especially defensively. But attacking wise, I want to see more. As Wayne said, I want to see more through balls to Gyökeres. There were times during that Villarreal game, he made the run. He was literally like, pass me the ball. And our players turned and stopped and put it to the side, which is really frustrating for me because they're not coded that way. They've played this way for now, 5 seasons. So they've really, I don't think it's normal for them that they have someone running beyond the last man, but we need to play to that strength because that is Gyökeres' main strength. He runs in behind. I want to see a little bit more in the attack, more variation, as I said. Obviously there's a lot of lines about who's played in the the training pictures, and apparently William Saliba was not there. I mean, he has played all the games as well this preseason, so maybe he might not play. But again, Calafiori's back fit. We need to see him again. But the fact is that we can't. Calafiori, when he's with his injuries, is causing a problem in terms of if he's not available for 2/3 of the season, then it's back to the kind of Takahiro Tomiyasu scenario where is it worth it now? But tomorrow, I'm watching keenly to see how much of the first team play. Does Zubimendi and Rice start? Because if, as you said, Norgard starts, then you say that he will probably start Old Trafford. And while he's been okay, has he moved the need? Is he a needle mover? No, he's a very good defensive midfielder, but it's a journeyman, isn't it? Effectively, he's a workhorse. There's some questions, and the performance is more important for me. I want to see a bit more attacking verve, that we're trying to move it quicker, trying to open up a defense that, I think they will sit low block Bilbao tomorrow, and try to hit us with Nico Williams on the break. So I want to see us try and break down that defense and not just go for the standard, hit it to Saka and hope.
Nico Williams finally at the Emirates Stadium, and not the Nottingham Forest right back either. Listen, I just want a good performance. It'd be nice to score a few goals. Obviously, I think Victor Gyökeres to get off the mark would be just great. Ødegaard, Rice, Havertz, Gabriel Magalhaes, Calafiori, Timber, all of them to start. Absolutely, stack it up, Arteta. Stack it up. Last feature of tonight's show. Onto the home straight. Last few minutes. Thanks so much for watching, by the way, guys. So many people in the YouTube chat right now. There are just shy of 500 of you still watching live on this Friday night. If you've enjoyed the content and you're new around here, please do subscribe, set your notifications so you don't miss a show in future. We'll be back over the weekend with the Daily Grind. Monday, there'll be a members only, Patreon only show with Henry Winter, looking ahead to the new season. And of course, the Daily Grinds will be back throughout next week. Raphael Kachinoff, who is one of our Patreon members, his question is, as a non-Brit, but an absolute nut for match days, I'm curious, and this goes for everyone in Patreon too, what is everyone's go-to pre-match and post-match, if any, must-dos? Could be a litany of things, like do you always make a point to come the same way, or is there a favorite spot that you hit on the way to the stadium, or what's the first post-match drink that you'd order first? It's a great question, Raphael, and I think Yembele and I, we're smiling because we know. So let's go to Wayne first. Wayne, you got a match day. Imagine it's first day of the season tomorrow, Emirates Stadium, home game. What's your sort of match day routine? And chat, get involved as well. Like if you're watching a game, you're going to the stadium. Is there a kit that you wear, or a pair of trousers that you wear, or is that something that you do? Like what's your thing, Wayne?
So we're obviously all lucky enough to be at every home game. So our kind of routine will be a bit different to those watching at home. Although I will say for away games that I don't go to, my ritual is deal with the daughter early, order some wings, shut myself in another room for the hours that I'm watching it on TV. But no, on my way to the stadium, I have to say my ritual has changed over the last couple of seasons, because Pinebury Corner, which was a legendary place for Arsenal fans, anyone that was able to go to a stadium once weekly, every single game. My ritual used to be get there about 2 hours early, head to Pinebury Corner, have the Theo Walcott pie, which was a jerk chicken and potato pie with some mash, some gravy, with one of my friends, and we would eat outside Pinebury Corner, head to the stadium. Before I was in club level, I'd always buy a program. Now I'm in club level, I get the programs for free. And I always read the program. I always make sure I read it from start to finish. I always make sure that I kind of look at the back, see who the referee is before knowing whether or not to get annoyed.
Oh, yeah, you love that. Yeah.
And then I'm always there. I always have to be in sort of my seat or in the stadium before the warm-ups, because I like to watch them warm up. I like to see David Raya go through all of his sort of saves and routines. I like to see Bukayo Saka blaze shots over the bar, because if he shoots over the bar, it normally means he scores in the game. So that's kind of how it works. With us, though, if it's first game of the season, we're obviously hopefully going to be together for Leeds. Yem has already recommended shawarma, so I think we're meeting up before Leeds, getting a shawarma together, doing the usual shaking hands and welcoming babies if you're FK, because he does the politician stuff, and then we head our separate ways.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? FK usually wanders off. Oh, look, I found somebody. Hello there. Hello. Yeah.
Always, for me, always watching the game in some sort of Arsenal merch. If we don't win that game, that merch is not worn again until it's the next time around. So if we wear this hoodie against Manchester United, for example, if I wear this hoodie against Manchester United and we win, I'll wear it for Leeds, and then I'll keep wearing it until we don't win in it.
Remy says he always buys a program, never really reads it though, but it's just a thing that he does. What else is there? Keenan, who's been very active in the chat tonight, thank you for that, man. Thank you. I hope you're enjoying the show. Says live in Seattle. Full English breakfast for myself, massive jug of coffee, then lock myself into a soundproofed home office so the family doesn't hear me screaming. Yem, what's your match day routine, man? I mean, obviously, before you sort of meet me, but what do? You wake up in the morning and you do your thing, and what do you wear? And talk us through it.
So usually first thing when I wake up, I usually check Twitter, and I usually put out a tweet, the match day tweet. It's here. I get excited because, obviously I'm thinking about what time am I going to head off? The usual routine is me and Faisal will text each other to death in the morning, go, what time are we meeting? Where are we meeting?
No. Correction. Yembele will text me bus times, what time I have to be at the bus stop. He's so particular about travel. The man cannot chill. He'll be like, right, got to meet you at the bus stop, mate. Like, there's one coming at like 22 past. You got to be there for 20 past.
Because you stroll up like,
oh, no, chill. I'll just bowl up like, all right, boys.
Doesn't matter. We missed the bus. We then missed the bus.
There's another bus. That's the best thing about London.
But our routine does actually vary quite a bit depending on the night it happens. So if it's a 3 o'clock game, we tend to drive in if we can and park at a local station and then train it in. But because of the parking restrictions, we can't do that on a 3 o'clock. So we tend to take the bus. Our routine is very wildly different depending on what happens. Champions League night, I always love because it's more. I don't know what it is about it. It feels like it's much more relaxed than a 3 o'clock. For the 3 o'clock games, I'm not as relaxed, I don't think, as I am on the Champions League night, because Champions League night, you're going to be late. So you might as well extend it out till the latest you can get to. On a 3 o'clock, my wife's usually like, you better be home by 6 o'clock. Otherwise, we've got so many things to do. I'm like, oh, geez, if I have to do that, then I have to get out quickly. But usually me and FK will travel in together. We used to get a pre-match burger, but our pre-match burger guy has dumped us.
Just admit you get a Tesco meal deal now.
Oh, yeah, we get a Tesco meal deal. Look, prawn sandwich, paprika max crisps, and a drink.
There it is.
Boom.
What am I talking about? Right,
that's heritage. That's heritage. You don't mess with that. We've done it before where we've messed it up and we lose the game. So we don't do it anymore. We literally, and also as well, our timing is sublime. We go to the station.
Do you know the funniest part about that picture? He sent me that. That's a picture he sent me.
He sends me that all the time. He literally sends me that all the time. You know, when he's on the train, if he goes to an Arsenal game that I don't go to, he's literally like, yeah, heritage. I'm
going to come in now. I am definitely a creature of habit, right? So every match day, wake up, fresh shave, fresh trim, right? You got to buff the head, be more aerodynamic for that exit when you leave the stadium. I always got to wear my blue O2 shirt because that is a thing. So in the summertime, up until the sort of clocks go back, it'll be yellow fleece, which all of you guys know that I know and love. I love that yellow fleece, flipping Arsene Wenger fleece, love it. And always sort of my chinos and my trainers. And so on the way, Tesco meal deal, cannot beat it. Little sandwich, little crisps, and obviously a drink. And after the game, if we've won, Raphael, Yembele and I will go for a burger at a place called Slam in Walthamstow, which is sensational. And so we do that. So if we won a game, and obviously if it's providing it's not a late Champions League game, if it's like a weekend game or whatever, and it's near dinner time, we'll always chow down and just enjoy the socials, and it's always quite good watching. And
actually, we watch a match. We actually watch. Yeah,
we watch the Sky Sports coverage, and the boys behind the counter always give a stick, and it's awesome. And you might be wondering what the hell is that monstrosity on the right hand side? But that is my toiletries bag that I take to every away game because why not? It's 2025. You've got to be, you're a grooming man. Got to look after yourself. Deodorant, fragrance, hand sterilizer, moisturizer.
I forgot about that bag. You literally stepped out of the crowd traffic car park like this.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
You forgot about the abuse that you give me before the kickoff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Every home game. Because Wayne's obviously looking down at his sort of peasants, hear ye, sort of, waving as like royalty, and we just sort of wave and give him the old wanker sign. Every game without fail. Tickles me. But yeah, that's my away bag. So I might have to get a new toiletries bag for this season because obviously Wally and I are going up to Old Trafford. So you'll have all sorts of things in there: paracetamol, nail cutter. You just never know. You never know what you're going to need and when you're going to need it. So always be prepared, right? That's it. That is the match day routines. That is literally that. So thank you. Donald says, how many years have you and Yembele been going together? We had our season tickets obviously at the Emirates since the start of the season. Both probably started following Arsenal 11, 12 years of age. Yeah. He said, is there a Razzle mag in that bag? Wally has his stash under the passenger seat in his car. Wally has his stash.
No, Walid's car, honestly, that boy, his car, vacuum Walid. There's a vacuum. There's a thing called a vacuum. Please, it's like a death trap in his car. I've never seen it.
When we met up for the Champions League screening, we had to sit in the baby seats.
I know, honestly. Yeah. What was that?
That was funny.
My God.
That was funny. Right, yeah. Well, there we are. I think that's been a great show. It's been a long show. Sorry for that. But these are the Friday night shows, the late night lounges. So I hope you guys enjoy them. It's a nice way to sort of end the week. And I certainly go to bed much calmer and happier. And it's just a delight to be able to spend all that time with you. Thousands of you have tuned into tonight's show. Really appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the super chats, all the channel members, all the Patreon support, and everyone just being here. Love the community that we've grown. I'm not sure who's coming on the channel this weekend. I will schedule something, but we'll have a daily grind show tomorrow. No, we won't. We'll have a match reaction video tomorrow because, of course, the Emirates Cup is at 5 p.m. So we'll come home, we'll do a match reaction video, and then Sunday we'll have some sort of daily grind. Monday, Henry Winter. I've got Kieran Maguire, the finance expert, coming on to Latte Firm to talk to us about what is going on at Newcastle. How do Chelsea sell? Where are Liverpool getting this money from? Why can't Arsenal sell players? Do we really have enough money for Eze, even if we don't sell? Kieran's going to give us all the answers. Arsblog will be here as well. The journalist will be coming back. Kai Kainak, Art de Roche, and of course, these two bandits on a Friday night. So really appreciate. I'm not having, I didn't even tuck in. I had a couple. These are elite as well, by the way, DJ T10, as you're asking.
Oh, yeah, those are really nice.
Citrus
Skittles. Their latest batch.
I think they're the best. I think they're better than the original.
Still can't find them. I still can't find them.
You have to go to the corner shop, man. You know your corner shop.
I've tried. They don't have them.
You've got to go to Boston, man. You have
try
to
try the tropical ones as well. They're very nice as well.
Hit Miami Crispy for a spicy dip burger. If you don't get, we've got Miami Crispy on our doorstep here.
Yeah, he's been.
Manny. And I wasn't keen. The wings were okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. No, we have to talk that. We haven't talked about the Akbars one. So on an away game, if we win as well, it's either KFC or
you never even come to away games. What are you talking about?
I was there with it. Who got you to Akbars?
Right,
you people
who
have.
got me to Akbars? Right, we're gonna leave it there.
Please.
If anybody wants to follow Yembella, he's available at Verge59. Please do send him some abuse. If anybody wants to follow Wayne Bella, he's available at Wayne's World 20_. Both of these fine gents also host their own podcasts. Yembele has Red Lines and Half Spaces. The new episode is out from 2 days ago. Wayne, can you believe it? With our friend Metro. You've done your season preview.
Not yet. No, season preview will come out next week. We are doing Emirates Cup stuff on Monday.
Okay, cool. No, good. Very good. I look forward to that. Karen, good night to you as well. Thank you so much for all the very kind chats. And DJ D10, yeah, I'm not going to go for no sugar. Oh, I fancy having a bit of cheese on toast now. Right, let's leave it there. Look after yourselves. We will see you tomorrow. It's the Emirates Cup. The trophy haul begins now. Bye for now.